Hey there, a quick beginning of the school year primer for everybody terrified by the year 2025. Lots of ways that we can talk about going back to school being kind of terrifying right now. I'm going to focus in on one subject that I am mildly versed in and deeply interested in, and that is AI, this thing that's being sold. I prefer to call it a text extrusion engine, meaning it's autocomplete gibberish of words that are run through so many computers and servers that they get turned into relatively cohesive statements that some would argue is better than what they would have come up to write on their own. No matter how you feel about AI, it is going to be everywhere in a school year for teachers and students alike. So this is a call out mostly to parents and kids, some basic things about why you need to be careful. At best, the current state of AI, meaning anything that you can freely or easily access in a web browser, in a search engine, in an operating system like Windows, is plagiarism. You are not getting a guaranteed set of text and images that has been run through a cold filter and is definitely not plagiarism, is definitely paid for and captured and freely licensed. You are instead getting a lot of text that is drawn from public works that, as of right now, thanks to our current legal system, haven't been properly vetted. If you use AI to complete or generate anything, or even to smooth over writing you've done, you are inviting plagiarism into what you do. While you are in school, you shouldn't plagiarize. Sorry, it's a great sounding shortcut, but understand that plagiarism is a sort of cornerstone of what you don't do in any kind of education, whether copying off your friend's math homework or outright copying someone else's essay. And AI does a lot of shortcutting to make it seem like you're not doing that, but it is. So just keep that one in mind. When you use AI, it is plagiarism. At worst, AI is a psychosis machine that's badly tested on the public. The kinds of phrases and answers that you get from an AI system like ChatGPT or Claude Monet is ultimately a bunch of different auto-generated gibberish that's then filtered down based on a training bias. So what does that mean? It means imagine you've got the biggest set of all the encyclopedias in the world. And then as it's grabbing all the different sentences from those encyclopedias, somebody is training it to say these sentences are better than those sentences. Who's doing that training? It's not entirely clear, and a lot of investigative reporting points to underpaid server farm workers in parts of the world where underpaying you can get away with. And those people are applying their own bias and being inflicted with all of the really messed up, vulgar, sexually charged language that they then, from their point, try to filter out so it doesn't reach you on your convenient free system. It doesn't always work out that way. As I record this, a big report is coming out about the kind of self-harm that is described and encouraged. And that's because the prompts going into it were asking for things along those lines. And these systems are not smart enough to have something like real intelligence, which would say, don't talk about self-harm in a certain way because it will engender self-harm. Instead, it is fulfilling the bias of the author because any current AI system wants you to stay inside of it. So if you talk about racist things, it's going to agree. If you talk about self-harm, it's going to agree. If we talk about being young and adventurous and doing things that push a boundary, it's going to agree. And that's not a developmental, healthy way to go about answering prompts. So when you put in input into an AI system to generate images, to generate text, because it's fulfilling biases, it's going to probably be fun for a younger end user. Your wildest fantasies of text, type it out and it will respond in kind. Responding in kind to a child usually means when they ask for things like ice cream, they just get more ice cream. Because that's what you're doing as a kid, is testing whatever limit you can to get as much as you normally do not from the rest of the world. AI teaches a really messed up version of when you ask for what you want, you will get it. And you will be told how what you did is awesome and great to keep you inside of that system. Everything awful about your Facebooks, your Instagrams, your other doom scrolling platforms is 100-fold on a platform like AI that's auto-completing in a way that keeps that bias upheld and keeps the user engaged and keeps them saying, yes, this is where I want to be. It is fun. It gives me answers. It is smart, but it's not. Real intelligence weighs the pros and cons of the input to then only give an output that's responsible and well measured. And AI will never be there because well-measured, kind, cautious responses do not engender more use. A/B testing. This answer versus that answer, the ice cream answer tends to win. So, AI is plagiarism and a psychosis machine that is poorly tested. If you think about using AI, if you have AI shoved in your face by your friends, it's okay. But you should always find someone you care about, a real person, to talk about what you find. Open up an AI prompt with someone you love. Use it together and talk about it. I'm not saying you can't or shouldn't use these platforms. Personally, I hate them. I think they're terrible, but they're coming for you anyway. Share these things. Have real, honest, open conversations about why they seem fun. It's okay to test the things that are available to you. That is what you're supposed to do as a young person. But remember, these systems are not intelligent. They're not people. Their wisdom is not looking out for you 5, 10, 20 years down the line in terms of how you learn, how you ingest information, and how you become an independent person who's going to be able to navigate the world all on your own capably and in an interesting way that's balanced between safe and exciting. Be careful with AI. Bring other people into your uses with it, and you'll be better off. Good luck out there in the year 2025 with a school year, with AI, with whatever comes your way. Take care.